Hi, I'm Tracy Falbe, real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Michigan Real Estate, and I'm based in Battle Creek. Today I am talking about running the comps. And comps refers to comparable homes. And this is what agents use to make a CMA, which stands for comparable market analysis. And the comps are used to figure out what the current value of your home would be. So this is what I like to call a logical art form, because we're using facts. The house sold at this price. This house is for sale at that price. This house has this square footage, 3 bedrooms, this many baths. So there's a fact base to the analysis, but the art form comes into kind of determining, is this house, does it have nice curb appeal? Does it look good, or does it look run down? Is determining how good the location is. Is this a good part of the neighborhood, or is it kind of close to the busy street? So there's a lot of opinion, subjective things that go into doing a comparable market analysis. So the first thing you're going to do is pin down, make a list of the features of your house. Your house that you're trying to determine the value is the subject house. So write down bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, features like, is it 1 story, 2 story? Does it have a basement or a crawl space or a slab foundation? Because when you compare houses, you're going to compare like to like. If you have a 1-story ranch, you're not going to look at what the 2-story house is sold for, not usually, because they're a different product. 2-story home, different than 1-story home, especially for buyers, because some buyers, maybe they're open to either, but some might have specific desires. So you're going to write down what your house is like, size, style, condition, and then we're going to pick out the comps. And people can do that at home. Zillow, Realtor.com will have information about what is for sale in your neighborhood or your area if you're out in the country. And you can look up what things have sold for recently. So you can get some of that data. As an agent, I go to the MLS and, that website, our tools, I can pull up a lot of homes quickly for an area and get pending, sold, and active, because you want to look at all of that data. You want to look at solds because that's a hard fact. That is money that was spent on a house similar to yours in your area. Solds, you're going to want to look back 3 to 6 months, ideally not any longer to that, because you're trying to get a current market value, because last year is ancient history. You'll try and find some pending homes that are similar to yours nearby. Pending means it's under contract, it hasn't closed yet, but someone is trying to buy it. So you can look at that and be like, okay, that house looks like this, it's this size, it's in this condition, it was at this price, and someone's actively trying to buy it. So that's a fairly solid number. It's not a done deal fact yet, but it's a pretty good indication that buyers are desiring properties like this. And then you will look at your active listings to see what is out there for sale like yours nearby. No one's bought it yet, but what are the prices like today if a buyer was to go out and start looking? Let me switch over my screen really quick and I will pull up a list of houses. All right, what I have here is a hypothetical subject house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Harper Creek School District, which is one of the districts in Battle Creek. And this list, we have solds, we have pendings, we have active listings. And so you would find houses like these. This is 2-story house. So I did 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Harper Creek School District. And then I would go through this list and start weeding out ones that aren't maybe nearby the subject house, because these aren't all in the same township. Harper Creek, some houses are going to be kind of a country setting, some are more in town. So I would weed out by location to get it closer to the subject house. Some of these have maybe a lot of acreage with them. There was a couple I saw. that are in there. Where's the acres? Like some are 1 acre, 15 acre. So a 15 acre one, if your subject house was say on a half acre, I might not compare them. And also if something had a lot more square footage than the subject house, I'd try and narrow down that range of square footage to get it as like to like as possible. But you can see here, this is where you would kind of pull up a house and you try and get 3 most recent solds and 3 of the closest type of actives and maybe 3 pending. It's hard to say if there would be pending, but you would try and narrow it down to your best comps and then start really dialing in on the prices on those. Then once you find your ones that are the most comparable, and you do that, you'll be looking through a lot of pictures, because you'll try and think because you want to see those pictures of the inside, like say here, this one looks very updated, we have new flooring, fresh paint, looks like some new appliances or a newer kitchen at least. And because you want to assess the condition, because some will be maybe a little older inside, maybe the kitchen's older, maybe the carpet's a little run down. So you kind of think, well, if my house is in nicer condition than that, maybe I can price it higher than what this one sold for, because all things being equal, mine's a little better condition inside. So you're going to examine a lot of pictures, get an idea of what was going on with that house, what its nice features were. Because you want to think about amenities, like fenced yards are nice. People like that adds value. How many garage spaces there are, if it's a 1-car garage or a 2-car garage, or maybe there's an extra barn. What were the bathrooms like? Is it a 1.5 bath house, or did it have 2 full bathrooms? And you'll want to look, when you're looking over the homes, look at the substructure. So you want to compare homes with a basement to homes with a basement, homes that are slab foundations to slab. You're trying to make it as similar as possible, so to find homes that look as good as yours and dial in that price. So once you have found your comps, active, pending, if there are any pending, and solds, you will get the ones that are the most like yours in size and style, maybe condition, maybe not. And you'll look at the prices and try and come up with a range. Look first at your solds, because that's hard data, what's sold. But next, you'll want to look at your active, what's active on the market. Because if you were to list your home at that moment, the active listings would be your competition. Now, if there aren't a lot of active listings for a house like yours in your neighborhood, you might be able to push up that price range and do a little higher price because you don't have competition. Now, if there are a lot of actives, similar homes in your area, you really can't push that price range too much. You'll want to stay in kind of where the prices are at, because you have a lot of competition. If people have choices and you price yours way high and it doesn't have a condition, finishes, amenities, location that make it much more appealing than the competition, you're going to not be anyone's first choice, because people like their money. So that is a brief overview of how to do the comps or make a CMA. You can kind of casually do it at home, like I said, to just, see what's sold, see what's active, and get an idea. Make sure you're comparing like to like. So look for houses that are like yours in building style, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and kind of close on square footage. You don't want to be too much bigger or too much smaller. And if you want to sell your house soon or explore what its value is, you can reach out to an agent like me, and I would pull up all the data and run the comps and be able to present a price proposal for a current market price for your home, so you can think about putting it on the market. If that's something you would like to explore, please reach out to me. My name is Tracy Falbe. My phone number is 269-967-6589. You can call or text me. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Michigan Real Estate in Battle Creek. Thanks for watching, and please leave a comment. I'd love to see what you have to say about my video. Have a good day.